Holly, and I'm going to show you how to make a haunted house for our Death by Chocolate Stuffed Cupcake. So today I'm taking a Hershey's mini snack size bar. Here's the bag. And that's going to be the beginning of our haunted house. So I'm going to open this up. Then for the roof, we have our Kit Kat minis. They come in an unwrapped version. And that makes our little roof. But first, we need to give our house some siding. So I'm taking just a regular steak knife that has some serrations. And you don't have to be perfect because it's a haunted house and it's gonna look old and dilapidated. But I am just scraping a little bit of the chocolate off. And if I miss a spot like there, I'll go back over it. And just do that for the whole back of the bar. And then I turn it around and do it the other way. Likely you'll want an adult to do this. We don't want the kiddos playing with sharp knives. But there we go. We've now given our haunted house some siding. And now I need to adhere these. I'm using this chocolate flavored candy coating that I just got at my local grocery store. Sometimes it's called almond bark, but there's no almonds in it, so I don't know why the name. But check yours if you do have a nut allergy, just to verify that. But then we're going to adhere the roof to the body of the house. So we're just going to put a line of the melted chocolate that I have in a piping bag here, and then we're just going to stick those two together. And it takes about 10 to 20 seconds for that to stick. So it won't take but a few seconds. And then once I feel like it's really stuck, I'm just going to run my finger along the bottom edge of the roof so I don't have glops of chocolate there. So I'm just going to go right like this. And it cleans it up just a little bit. So I'm going to let that dry for about a minute or two, and then we're going to come right back. So our house has dried. I have the roof on. That's our mini Kit Kat that comes in an unwrapped bag. So they're called mini unwrapped Kit Kats, and they come in a bag. And then that's what I've attached to my snack size Hershey's chocolate bar that I've already gone ahead and taken a serrated knife and given it some texture. So now we want to put on windows and a door. And how we're going to do that is with a piece of juicy fruit, which comes in a yellow style here, and we're also going to use a Trident orange piece of gum, and that's going to be our door. That's what that looks like. Or you can use airheads, and we have the stripe version, and we're using the mystery flavor, which happens to be a green and white shade. So I'll open this up and you can see that. So you can use both of these items. If you use the gum, just know that you'll be chewing gum in with your chocolate. And maybe that's not what you want to have little kids eating. So keep that in mind. But this is what we have when you've unwrapped the airhead. And what we do to get our windows and our door is we're just going to cut it right in half. And this is a little challenging. You might want to rub it between your hands before you go in to cut it, or get a sharper knife. I'm going to get a sharper knife for this. And again, this is something a parent should do. So we're just going to cut that. There we go. And then the white part here makes it look like a really nice window. And I'm going to cut off this green on this part so we get just the white part for our windows. And then I'm going to cut it. And I want rectangular windows, so I'm going to make these a little smaller than I would for if I'm using the juicy fruit. But I'll show you the size of that in a minute. But they have a nice glow-in-the-dark kind of look, like something might be behind that window. So we'll use those for the windows. And then on the opposite side here, we have this nice green color. And I'm going to use this wider section for the door. About 3/4 of an inch long compared to about a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 of an inch here for the window. So we're going to set those aside. And if we're going to use the juicy fruit for the windows, I just cut this about, oh, I don't know, a 1/4 of an inch wide. You can pre-cut all of these if you were going to have a party, so that these are in a little bowl so that the kids can just use a little chocolate and stick them right on, which is what we're going to do in a minute. And then for a piece of Trident gum, that's going to be our door. I just cut that right in half. It's got a little cornstarch covering. If you don't like that, which I think it gives it a nice texture, you could always take a little paper towel and try to rub it off. But I'm going to leave it the way it is. So we're going to use the glow-in-the-dark Airhead because I don't necessarily want gum on this particular one. And I'm going to use my pre-melted chocolate in my decorating bag. And I'm just going to put a little dollop on the house and where I want my windows, and then stick my windows on at a little bit of an angle. So it kind of makes it look like a dilapidated house. So not totally straight on. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my door. I'm just going to put a little dollop on the candy bar. And I'm going to stick my door right on there. Now, it's only going to take a couple minutes for that to dry, but I can go ahead and continue decorating. And I purchased these Halloween sprinkles from my local grocery store. It's a Wilton brand, but we're specifically going to use these little ghosts and pumpkins. And I've gone ahead and put those into a bowl here so they're easier to get to. And now I know I want a little ghost right in that upper right-hand window. So I'm going to put a little dollop of chocolate there. I want one on the roof. I'm going to put one there. And I want my pumpkin right next to the door. So once I've done that, now I just take my sprinkles and I put them where I want them. So I want my pumpkin right by the door, and I'll put that at a little jaunty angle as well. And then I want one of my ghosts, and I'm going to just set that right on top there. And it's neat that it kind of sticks out. Oh, in fact, that chocolate is already dried just that fast. So I'm going to put a little more chocolate there. And put my sprinkle there. And then one more. The one on the top is dry too. So I just scratched that off. Put a little bit more chocolate there as my glue. And get my ghost on there really quick. Put him right there. And I can come back once that's dried and I can wipe it off with a paper towel to get off that chocolate. And then I have bats in this assortment of sprinkles too. And I want one little tiny bat on my front door. So I'm going to put it right in this upper left-hand corner. And put my bat right there. Oops. Well, he's not sticking. But I'll put a little more chocolate on there and it'll stick just fine. But then, here, just do that really quick. A little more chocolate to get him to stick. There we go. And then we have our cute haunted house. But one more thing we're going to do is we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to add a pretzel stick to the bottom so that it will stick into our cupcake much better and be more stable. So we're back and we're gonna put this pretzel rod right on the back of our haunted house that's previously been decorated.
It's a pretzel stick.
Oh, pretzel stick, sorry, not rod. So we're gonna just take our melted chocolate and, gets clogged a little bit when it gets too cool, so we just have to make sure it's ready to go. And we pipe on, it doesn't have to be neat, just a big swath of chocolate there, and put our pretzel stick right in there and just roll it around so then you don't see the pretzel stick. It's covered in chocolate, and leave it there for about 2 minutes and it'll be ready to go. So here's our completed haunted house with our pretzel stick attached that's going to stick right into the cupcake and give it enough stability so it doesn't fall over. But there you go, haunted house.